Okay, well, tonight's going to be more like a chat with you guys, and I will explain how you can start your process to become an engineer here in Australia. So I will start. Hi everyone, and welcome to this live session, which is live number 140. Yes, it means that for the last 140 weeks, I am here every week for the past more than 2.5 years, talking about subjects related to the engineering qualification validation in Australia, how to get your job as an engineer here in Australia, and also about other subjects related to engineering. But first, for those that don't know me, my name is Gerson Ida. I'm the founder of the website www.engineersinaustralia.com, a website that I created back in 2019 to share information and relevant content in regards to engineering qualification validation in Australia. And tonight, I'm going to talk about if you want to become an engineer, I'm going to tell you how you can do that or how you can start this process. So I would like to thank you very much for your attendance. I'm curious, whereabouts are you guys? Are you guys, if you can put in the comments, one, where you guys from and where you are now. So for example, I'm Brazilian, I'm a civil engineer, and I live in Brisbane, Australia. What about you? So I know a little bit more about you, and we can build a relationship, and I can use perhaps examples that are related to your profession and related to your country as well. All right, good. So just few announcements before I start with the content. The first one is about my Telegram group. You guys, some of you guys already part of my Telegram group. What's Telegram? Telegram is like WhatsApp. It's a messaging app that I have a group in there. It's called Engineering Qualification Validation. And in that group, I share contents, audios, videos, posts. When you guys interact with me, I usually put my PDFs of these live sessions there, but when you don't interact, then I don't put in there. But you need to be part of the group. So when I do that, you have access to that. And to be part of the group is free. You just need to download the app and then copy and paste or click on the link that I'm going to paste in the comments. So I'm just going to put there, join the Telegram group, Engineering Qualification Validation. And I'm pasting that in YouTube, in Instagram, and also I'm going to put in Facebook. I've got some comments here in Instagram. We've got Anna Carol. She's a Brazilian chemical engineer living in Sydney. Yeah, thank you very much, Anna. We've got, I don't know your name, but your profile is Andrew from Philippines, electrical engineer. Very nice. Thank you very much for your participation. Okay, so how you can become an engineer in Australia. There are different ways that you can become an engineer in Australia. And tonight, hi Alex in YouTube. And tonight I'm going to talk briefly about that. My live sessions usually they run for like half an hour, and I cannot really go very deep in the content because obviously you guys have things to do also on Sunday evening. But the good news is that next Sunday, 6th of March, at 10 a.m. Brisbane time, I will start my free online workshop where I'm going to teach you everything that you need to know to start your validation process. Obviously, it's not going to be one day. It's not just going to be in the morning of next Sunday. It's going to be an event which will have 7 days or almost 8 days of a lot of content and information. So it will start next Sunday, 6th of March, 10 a.m. Brisbane time with a live webinar where I'm going to talk about the workshop, and also I'm going to talk about one of the biggest blockages that prevent you to become an engineer in Australia. So, different ways that you can become an engineer in Australia. Obviously, when you study here, you study in an Australian university. Obviously, you can, and if the course is accredited by Engineers Australia, you can then become an engineer here in Australia by studying in an Australian institution, accredited institution. The other few ways is that when you are graduated from countries and institutions that they have an accord, they are full signatories of the Washington Accord. Washington Accord is one of the accords of the International Engineering Alliance. And if you are a member or from a country that is a full member of the Washington Accord, you can then apply pretty much straight away, pay the fees and everything else, fill the form, and get your recognition under the Washington Accord. There are the Sydney Accord and the Dublin Accord, but those accords, they are for engineering technologists and engineering associates, consequently. Also, France, about 2 years ago, France had an agreement with Engineers Australia. So those engineers registered with the Institution of Engineers in France, they then can get their recognition from like 2 years ago until now. But then there are the majority of other engineers, like me, like probably you, that we graduated in countries that are not signatories of the Washington Accord. We didn't study here in Australia, and we are not registered in France as well. So for those ones, you need to do the CDR process, the Competency Demonstration Report. And this Competency Demonstration Report is going to be the process that majority of overseas engineers will have to do, because the Washington Accord, currently I believe there are between 25 and 28 countries that are signatories. So, and all the other 200 something countries in the world, they'll have to go through the CDR process. So there are different ways. Yeah, Jerson, but I don't understand anything about the Washington Accord. Maybe I am eligible to the Washington Accord. I don't know. Maybe I am eligible to the Sydney or Dublin Accord. Maybe I'm eligible under the Australian qualification because I study here, but I don't know if it is qualified or not, accredited, etc. Or maybe I need to do the CDR process. How do I know that? I will explain that in very, very detail in my video number 1 of the workshop, which is going to be Monday, the 7th of March. And how do you get the copy of that video? Very simple. Obviously, you need to participate in the workshop. If you don't participate in the workshop, you're not going to get my emails. You're not going to get the notifications that you will have access to the live webinars and the videos there. And it's all for free. You don't need to pay anything for that. So, what about if you are overseas engineer and not eligible through the Australian qualification, not eligible through the Washington Accord, and you're going to do CDR process? What is that? How do I do that? I can tell you the process is very simple. It's got just 6 steps. and I will explain step by step during the workshop as well. But unfortunately, the process is not easy. So the process is simple, but the process is not easy. If it was easy, everybody that wants to become an engineer would get it with no issues at all. A lot of people, they're not successful. They're not successful because many reasons, and I'm going to talk about those many reasons in the workshop as well. But some of them because their experience is not good, or the writing skills is not good. Sometimes they don't really choose a right experience, or they don't have enough documentation or evidences. And there are many other issues that can prevent you to become an engineer. And I'm going to talk and explore those ones during the workshop. Oh yeah, Gerson, but is the workshop just going to be you saying and we just listening? No, it will be very interactive. I hope that it will be very interactive. There will be live sessions. The opening webinar is a live webinar like this one. There will be opportunity for question and answers. I'm planning to put some voting so I can know more about you. You can ask me questions. And then there will be live sessions. In those live sessions, Instagram live sessions, I'm going to choose somebody to share the screen with me, and then we can have I'm going to give away free consulting services during those live sessions, so we can interact. You can tell me your story and then or your experience, and then we can discuss about it, and then our discussion will certainly benefit others because they may have the same question. So it will be very interactive. And also, people ask me, oh, Jerison, I know that you've got an online mentoring program. How can I do what do I need to do to become one of your mentoring students? Well, the enrollments are closed for now. The last group that I opened was in December, and I'm going to open a new group in March after my free workshop. So stay tuned. And I'm preparing very good offers and very many bonuses for you guys to be part of my mentoring. 19 engineers already applied that are my students, and all of them got approved by Engineers Australia. And I've got many other dozens of students that they still waiting for the English test or writing. Okay, so see if I've got more here. People not very excited to tell me where you're from and what type of engineer are you. We've got Anna, that she's a chemical engineer from Brazil living in Sydney, and we've got Mdro, Philippines electrical engineer, and I am a civil engineer from Brazil, living in Brisbane. Alex in YouTube, he's Brazilian, currently living in Sydney. He's a production engineer. Yeah, good news, Alex. Late last year, we've got Alison. He's a Brazilian engineer living in Sydney, and he's also, Ricardo, living in Spain. He's also a production engineer, and he was approved by Engineers Australia. And I've got Rodrigo as well, that production engineer approved by Engineers Australia. I actually interviewed them in December. So if you want to have a look in the videos, you can go to my YouTube channel. The interviews with them, it's in my YouTube channel. All right. And then how do you do to participate in the workshop? So I'm going to quickly show you guys how do you do. It's very simple. So when you go to my page, Engineers in Australia, yeah, you will see now. When you go to my page, engineersinaustralia.com, that's my website that I created. You can see I've got my YouTube channel, my Instagram profile, my Facebook page, etc. I've got sessions every Sunday. So you can actually send me your top 3 question suggestions for future live sessions if you want to know anything about engineering or the validation process, how to get a job here. Send me your top 3 questions, and it helps me to create content that is relevant to you. But if you want to register to the workshop, you just go to my website. I'll probably copy and paste so it's easier for you guys. You go to my website, and then you just click in there. Just click here to register in the next free workshop. So once you click in there, you just need to put your name and address. Let's say I'll put my email there, my name. I am Brazilian and I'm living in Australia, and then register. And that's it. You don't need to do anything else. You already registered. It says here you're 98% confirmed. I've got a quick video in Portuguese and in English, just 40 seconds to get 100%. And the video talks about the difficulty to reach you after you register in the workshop, because not always the email is going to go to your inbox. Sometimes the email goes to your junk mail, or the email confirmation email goes to another folder. So it's very important that once you registered, once you get this screen, you go to your email and then you search for the confirmation email. If you didn't find in your inbox, it's probably sitting in your junk mail box. And if it is in the junk mail box, it's a good idea to save my name and my email address in your contacts as favorites. So when I'm sending the emails with the videos, you will get it. Another thing that you could do if you want is to join my WhatsApp group. So when you click on this button, you can then be part of the WhatsApp group, Engineer Qualification Validation. What happens then? During the workshop, I will be doing some interaction with you guys. I'll be asking questions. I will be making some quizzes. And also I'm going to send when I release the videos. And I will be sending in the WhatsApp group. I will be sending in the Telegram group. I will be sending emails. I'm going to put in my Instagram, Facebook, on the website as well. So because it's so difficult to reach you guys because of many emails that you receive. So if you are part of the WhatsApp group, I will be sending the WhatsApp. If you're part of the Telegram, I will be sending in the Telegram. You will be receiving my email as well. So it's very important that you guys watch the videos, because the content is going to be really very dense and rich. And if you have questions, please send it in the comments now, and I'll be more than happy to answer those. All right, so keep going. How do you become an engineer in Australia? I spoke already about the different ways that you can become, and just to be very clear, the information that I'm talking to you, it's in the Engineers Australia booklet, Migration Skills Assessment. Everything that you need to know to have your validation process done, it's in the booklet. I'm not making up anything. It's not me that put together the information. I'm getting this information from the booklet. I'm just digesting and giving a little bit of my interpretation because of my experience in doing this in this process. I've done my process back in 2005. I became a recognized engineer in 2006. I spent a lot of time because that time didn't really have a lot of help, didn't have a lot of information. So I had some difficulties to do that. And I decided to start my project to help you guys so you don't have the same difficulties that I did have at that time. And after that, I was a volunteer with Engineers Australia, and I was part of interview panels with Engineers Australia to interview engineers already recognized, but they wanted to become chartered professional engineers with Engineers Australia. I am a chartered professional engineer. I am also a registered professional engineer of Queensland, I think since 2009, pretty much. So it's been more than 12, 13 years that I am a chartered professional engineer and a registered professional engineer here in Queensland. And since that time, I am helping engineers reviewing assessments and everything else as my volunteer job with Engineers Australia. Okay, so I think we've got some questions there. And thank you very much. Alex, for example, I like you, Alex. You took some action. You already joined the Telegram group, and that's a good indication. Those ones that will be successful, they do take action. And if you are there thinking, oh, yeah, I'm just going to listen, I'm a passive listener, nothing wrong to be a passive listener, but I'll tell you, the validation process, as I said, it's not complex. The process is very simple, but it's not easy. And why is not easy? Because it's not just about the content. It's about your behavior. It's about your dedication. It will require you a lot of time. It will require you dedication. It will require discipline. It will require overcoming procrastination. It will require action. So, give me a thumbs up if you like the video. So that's a first action. If you watch on Instagram, hit the like button. Doesn't cost you anything. Helps my profile, my channel, helps the content to reach more people, and it motivates me to keep going. I mean, I'm doing this for the last 2.5 years, every weekend. Religiously, I am here every Sunday or every weekend. In the beginning were different days, but every week I am here. So hit the like button, and if you're watching on YouTube channel, please consider subscribing to my channel, share my channel with other engineers so the content can help other engineers as well. All right, so we spoke about the ways to become an engineer. We spoke about the content, and what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to show you guys the booklet, because it's very important. If you're going to participate in the workshop, it's very important that you read the booklet first. Why is that? Because you will retain more information. Every time that you understand about the subject, every time that you have a little bit more, how can I say, knowledge about the content, when I'm going to talk about few things in my videos and during the live sessions, you will have already the background information and you will learn more. The objective here is for you to learn how to do it. The objective here is how you can understand better. I want you to save time. It took me almost 10 months for me to do my validation. And some of my students, they did it in 2.5 weeks. Actually, you can watch one of my videos with Walter. Walter is an environmental engineer. He was validated back in 2020. He told me in the interview, and you can watch the interview, in my YouTube channel, that he did in 15 days what he didn't do in 3 years. So that's my objective, to help you guys to win time. Time is money. And as soon as you get your validation, you will get probably better chances to get a job. And I've got here in the audience many students of mine that got validated, and they got better jobs as engineers. All right, so I'll show you how to find the booklet, because the booklet is really important for you guys to read. So a little bit of a tutorial. So you start with you Google. So you go to Engineers Australia website. So engineersaustralia.org.au. So that is their website. Once you go there, you go here for migrants. And then under migrants, you go migration skills assessment. And after that, skills assessment quick guide. And then dot point number 1, read the migration skills assessment booklet. So, and that's it. That's the MSA booklet, migration skills assessment booklet, March 2020, which is the latest version. And here you will find everything that you need to know. The reading obviously is not that exciting, but everything that you need to know is here. And during the workshop, I will explain in more details. I digested this booklet already many times. I know very well the booklet, all the competencies, and the competencies I know. I'll show you some of the competencies here. So this is for the professional engineer. Professional engineer, these are the units and elements of competency. And then let's choose one here. P1.6, understanding of the scope, principles, norms, accountabilities, and bounds of contemporary engineering practice in the specific discipline. So that is the competency. And then you need to think about your engineering experience and try to remember what example or what experience you can use to address that competency. So, and that's how I help you guys. I interpret, because I've done my certificate 4 in training and assessment here in Australia. I am a qualified trainer and assessor. It was part of my first job, my first professional job here in Australia. And I had to do a lot of assessments. I had to assess my students. And I learned how to read units of competencies, and then how to assess if they were matching with those units of competencies. And that helped me to do my career episodes, my summary statement, my validation process. And since that time, when I was doing my volunteer work with Engineers Australia, assessing engineers to become chartered professional engineers, I was reviewing those career episodes, and I was interviewing them together with another peer of the industry and the assessor from Engineers Australia. So I had to learn how to understand and how to assess competencies. So this is how you find the booklet. I encourage you guys to read very carefully the booklet. So if you are going to participate in the workshop, and I welcome you to participate, you have a better understanding. All right, some questions there. I will have a look. I think there's some questions. There's a question from Anna. She asks, I have been in Australia for 5 years working out of my field. How could I make this huge career break? Or how could I make up this huge career break? Well, I'm going to take that this question is how you could make up this huge career break for your validation process. The good news is that you don't need to. How come, Jerson? It's been 5 years that I'm not working as an engineer. I'm a chemical engineer. Well, Anna, she's a chemical engineer, not working probably as chemical engineer in Australia for the last 5 years. The good news is that you can use your experience if you worked as an engineer, a chemical engineer in Brazil before coming to Australia. You can use that experience. Yes, but it's not enough because let's say I graduated and then worked just a little bit and then came to Australia. So I don't really have enough experience to write everything. Yeah, the also good news is that you can also use your academic engineering experience. So you can go back to university, try to remember the assessments or the assignments or the subjects that you did, and then you can write about those. Your final assignment, in Brazil we call TCC, depending on the subject that was written, you can then use that TCC as well. So you don't need to worry about during the workshop. There will be a few examples about that as well. If you don't have any experience, if you have experience that perhaps it's not good for you to choose, and during the workshop, I'm going to explain to you what is a good experience for you to write in your career episodes. What is career episode? I'm going to explain to you as well during the workshop what is a career episode, what is a CPD, continuing professional development, what is a summary statement. I also mentioned about summary statements. So if you don't know anything about this, during the workshop you will understand, because I'm going to teach you in 1 week everything that you need to know to start your validation process. Okay. All right, so yeah, got 30 minutes already. I'm cautious of time. Just going to check if is there any other question there. Doesn't look like there is any other question. I'll check in YouTube. Yeah, Thais Colonia in YouTube. I know that your support for the recognition of the production engineer diploma will be very important to my husband. Yeah, thanks, Thais. I hope that it will be. I've got already Ricardo Martins. He's production engineer, graduated in Brazil, lives in Spain now, and he was recognized as production engineer. And also Rodrigo, he was recognized as production engineer as well. And my mentoring is very generic. It doesn't matter what type of engineer you are. I'm a civil engineer. Obviously, I got validated. I've got students that are also civil engineers. I have students validated that they are mining engineers, electrical engineers, electronic engineers, mechanical engineers, structural engineers, environmental engineers. What else? Chemical. Now I've got a chemical engineer that she's still writing. Production engineers, mechanical engineers. Yeah. So there's a whole different types of engineers that because my methodology is works for any type of engineer, because I teach you how to understand the competencies and how to address competencies. I don't write for you because it's plagiarism. I teach you how to understand competencies and how to address competencies. I teach you the principles. So then you can do with your own experience, because just you know your examples and just you know your experiences. And that is the tricky part of it. And I need time. It's not something very easy to teach. But my students, yeah, luckily, they were very good students, very dedicated. They put a lot of effort, and as I said, 19 engineers applied, and all of the 19 engineers got approved. All right, if I don't really have any more questions, I'll just check if is there any other question there. So no more questions. I'm just going to show you guys again. If you're not registered to the workshop, you can go there to my website engineersinaustralia.com. Very simple. Then click on this button and then just put your name and email address. If you can tick here, I appreciate it. It just helps me. Why is that? Because if you're Brazilian, if you say that you're Brazilian, I will send you an email in Portuguese. If you're saying that you're living in Brazil, the emails that I'm going to send to you, most of them, it will have a Brazilian time. So not to get confused, because some people, they see the email and then they, for example, the workshop starts on the 6th of March, 10 a.m. Brisbane time. Some people from my audience from Brazil, for example, they look at that 6th of March, 10 a.m. and then they go there 6th of March, 10 a.m. and then there's nothing there. Obviously, because they are late. Because 6th of March, 10 a.m. is Brisbane time. Brasilia time is the 5th of March, Saturday, 9 p.m. In the evening. So if you're saying that you're living in Brazil, the emails of the workshop are going to have the Brasilia time. So when you read the email, you don't really get confused. And I'm just finishing updating the workshop website. And the workshop website will have the calendar and everything else. Just talking about the calendar, what I'm going to cover in the workshop, I'm going to have the opening webinar on Sunday, 10 a.m. Brisbane time. And then on Sunday, 8:30 p.m., there will be this live session here. And then on Monday, 9 a.m., I'm going to send the first video. And then on Wednesday, the 9th of March, I'm going to send the second video. And then on Thursday, the 10th of March, I'm going to do an Instagram live session, and I'm going to give away 15 minutes of free consulting. And then on Friday, I'm going to send you the third video. And then on Sunday, I'm going to have the closing webinar, and I will be opening a new group of my online mentoring program. And I'm going to explain everything about the mentoring during the closing webinar. I'm going to talk about investment, about the warranty, about the bonuses, about the special offer of the webinar as well. And between probably tomorrow and Sunday, in the WhatsApp group, I've got a few WhatsApp groups there. I will be sending some questions just to warm you up for the workshop. And I'm preparing a survey monkey with 3 questions there, so I can understand better about you, where you're from and what engineer are you, and you will be able to put your top questions there. Because those top questions I also use in the workshop to answer, because your question could be somebody else's question, so I like to get those questions, and then I will answer those during the workshop as well. And the questions that are the most common, I will then prepare a video or I will do a live session with it. Okay. All right. I'll do a quick check for questions. If there's no more questions, I will then say goodbye to you. And I hope to see you now Sunday, 10 a.m. Brisbane time. If you are in Brazil, it's going to be sábado, dia 5, 9 da noite, no horário de Brasília. But if you are here in Australia or if you are in Philippines, 6th of March, Sunday, 10 a.m. Brisbane time in the live webinar. And the live webinar is going to be in my Telegram group. So there is a function in Telegram. I'll see if I can. Yes, I think it's here. That is my group. I'm just going to quickly show you guys and do a quick test. Any of you in the Telegram already? Because if you are, I'm going to do a very quick test. I'm going to start a call, and that's how the webinar is going to be. I'm going to start a call, and then you can join the call. So I'm going to start and see if it works. So if you are there, you can join the call in your mobile or in your desktop. You probably got a notification that it started a call. So you can probably participate. I don't know if you got the notification, but this is how it's going to work. You will be able to join the call and then participate in the live webinar. All right. So that's how it's going to work. So I'm going to leave because then we can just do that next Sunday. Okay. All right, guys. So I would like to thank you guys very much for that. And I hope to see you 10 a.m. Brisbane time next Sunday, 6th of March, in the opening webinar of the workshop. I want to become an engineer in Australia. Thank you, and I'll see you there. Bye-bye.